Hello, my lovelies. It's once again time. Let me center myself. This is terrible. I'm all off to the side. It's once again time for What the Fuck Wednesday, and I'm actually here on Wednesday, which is a miracle. This is our relationship advice live stream, which we try to do every week. People send in their questions in advance. If you want to submit a question for a future show, look in the show description down below and just click the link that says get advice or submit your something. Anyway, there's a link and it'll take you to the debsterism.com website. And then you just fill out the form with your question and some basic geographic information. And then you send it in. My cousin will review and select. Usually it's about 25 questions a week. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on what we got going on. But today it looks like it's 25 again. So we'll be here for a minute. So get your drink or whatever you're going to have, your little snack, and let's get ready for this show. And just so you know, I have these weird colors of makeup on because I don't know. I left my makeup bag at a friend's house when we were going to go out to dinner. And so I had to dig around and find like the leftover makeup. So it's like, oh God, what is this color that I have on? But whatever. We're going to just make it work. Y'all just pretend like you don't see it. Okay. So here we go with question number 1. This is from a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's Latino from Merced, California. The female in question is a Latina she's 18 to 21. Summary of issue. My female friend asked me out, but how should I reject her without hurting her feelings? You asking for the impossible, my young brother, but let's see what you got to say. My friend asked me out last Friday. I am feeling anxious since that day. She directly told me that she likes me in my ear. I thought she was joking, but then she asked me out. Really? I didn't reply her that much. I am not that good looking. I'm a boring piece of shit person. Oh, wow. I don't know how to entertain others, and I have nothing special that would make her happy. She is so good looking, just a gorgeous woman who deserves better men for her. People will laugh on us if they found me with her. My presence will diminish her social status. I don't want to accept her request, but I don't know how to turn her down because I know the pain of rejection. Is there any way that I can reject her without hurting her feelings? I just want her to be happy with a better guy. I don't know how the dating world works, so it's meaningless. I will make her bored. I can only be friends with her and not more than that. So it would be better if she moves on. It'll be good for me as well. Yeah, because you scared shitless. Dude, I don't know what got a hold of you in your young age, because you only did 22 to 27 now. So something happened in your teens or early childhood that makes you have like a shattered sense of self-esteem. You have like no confidence in yourself at all. Don't you think that if a woman like that you feel is such a high status chose you, that means you're worth more than what you think you are? Instead of putting yourself down, why don't you look at what just go and ask her, well, what do you like about me? Because I'm just shocked that you wanted me to go out with you. What is it that you like about me? Please do that so that she can tell you. And then you could hear it from objectively from another person, someone that you admire and respect, right? Because you think she's all that in a bag of chips. So if she tells you what she admires and what she sees in you, perhaps you might start believing it yourself just a little bit. Because you're not going to go very far in life with this lack of complete confidence in yourself. You labeling yourself a loser and boring, and what else did you say? You're not cute, and that is going to diminish your social. I mean, every message that you have that you shared about yourself in this letter is negative. You're putting yourself down right and left. What I mean, don't you have any redeeming qualities about yourself that you appreciate? If not, like I said, please go and ask her, well, what is it you like about me? Because I'm confused. I really didn't think I was good enough for you. You're not going to tell her that, but that's what you're thinking. And then she's going to tell you, like I said, you're going to listen. And then you're going to tell her, well, I really don't feel comfortable with us moving this along to the next level. I would like to just stay here and just stay friends. That's all you have to tell her. Okay? Don't make a big deal out of it. You start giving a whole bunch of explanations and stuff, the next thing you know, you're going to be going out with her and you're going to be feeling terrible about yourself even more. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Memphis, Tennessee. Summary of issue. How do I get over not being a priority at my, quote, best, end quote, friend's wedding? Shay! I flipped over so I could see the chat. I was on the other screen. I flipped over so I could see everybody. What's happening, folks? So she's not a priority at her friend's wedding. I wonder why she thought she should be. Anyway, let's move on and look at this. I know it sounds bad because I objectively know it was her big wedding day and she had a million other things to think about. Last year, I was picked to be a bridesmaid and she picked her dresses in January for a September wedding. I just got pregnant in April and was essentially told because I might not fit in the dress for her wedding, I could no longer be a bridesmaid. I was hurt because I told her in May I was pregnant to give her warning, hoping that she'd find a compromise, for example, a different dress. But that compromise was replacing me. Leading up to the wedding, she had assured me that she still essentially saw me as a bridesmaid. Then came the excuses of, I doubt you'll want to get ready early to be with us, or you won't wear heels all day, so it's good you aren't a bridesmaid. All of which I refuted adamantly that waking up wasn't an issue, nor was wearing heels. Come the day before the wedding, she told me that she'd text me when she wanted me to come, see her that morning and getting ready. She never texted me. Proceeded to pull a face when I congratulated her in the greeting line, and then I appeared in the single group photo with her. I'm just beyond hurt, and I know part of it is pregnancy hormones, but I just don't want to talk to her. In the evening, she made an effort to dance with me once, but I was already hurt by that point and hadn't sought her out all day. She phoned me today and pretended that everything was fine, but I know she's annoyed that I didn't post anything on social media about my, quote, best friend's wedding, as I didn't take any pictures from that day. That's how upset I was. I don't know if I'll regret all of it in the future, if I'm just being silly, or if I should say something to her. How do I get over this? You put on your big girl pants, because this is what the fact that this is all messed up is your fault. You should have used birth control. You should have waited to get pregnant until after she got married. And then you wouldn't have had this problem. So everything that happened was because you were careless and silly and you decided to be a baby mama and think that somebody who's getting married wants to look at your pregnant belly in her wedding pictures. I have to be blunt with you because this is some bullshit. Who do you think wants to look at that shit? Okay, you decided that you want to run around and get pregnant. That's your problem. Okay, that's your problem. That's your red wagon. That's your choice. But nobody else has to be in any kind of way compromising what they want in their dream for your ass. Okay, so you take your baby and your baby daddy and all your drama and stay over there at your house with it because nobody cares. You just need to hear this real bluntly. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay, if you really cared that much about being in your friend's wedding, you should have got an abortion, or better yet, you should have used birth control. And then none of this other stuff would have happened. It was all because you got pregnant when you already knew you was going to be in a wedding in September. So that was a stupid choice you made. Deal with it. That's what grown folks do. I'm just like, this is some bullshit. If it was my wedding, I would have just straight told her, nobody want to look at your big old round pregnant ass in the wedding party. And plus, you're not even married. It's like if somebody was married, then you kind of make a compromise because then, she's sitting up there and it's like socially acceptable and all that. You a baby mama. Okay, don't nobody want to be looking at your ass on their wedding day. So get over it. This is you going to deal with the drama because you created the drama now. And I know I'm going to hear about this because people be like, oh, you were so mean to her. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. And if you got that opinion, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. This is this whole thing since reeks of entitlement. She gonna change her situation and flip this thing onto this bride and think that the bride's supposed to compromise her wedding pictures, dress choices, and everything else for her ass. That's what she's saying here. And I'm calling the bullshit. You made a choice to have a fucking baby by some stray random motherfucker, then that's what you just gonna do. And you don't get to be in people's wedding pictures with your giant belly. Now, the end. Next question. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Mesa, Arizona. The male is 42 to 49. Ooh, that just pissed me off. Yeah, well, I don't know if she's ready or not. I mean, it says, like I said, it says right on the submission form, if you got sensitive feelings, don't write me. Don't. Because you just stand, it's like a 70% chance that you're going to get your feelings hurt. And the other 30%, I'm usually nice to people if they have special needs, if they're really young, or something like that. I'll cut them a little slack. But in general, this she's plenty old enough to be sitting up here breeding with some random motherfucker, then you just gonna take the heat. And that's just the way it is. Summary of issue. My boyfriend made a troubling comment to me during an argument, and I don't know how to proceed. I'm struggling. My boyfriend and I, he is 48 and I am 28. What? Okay. Let me see what she said. I would have been different if yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because then they make you like, they don't make you like a bridesmaid because those are supposed to be, I mean, traditionally those are single women. But she could have definitely been like the matron of honor or something like that. She would have still had a position because she would have had a different dress and she could have got like a maternity style dress and it still would have worked. But nobody want to be having no baby mama up there in their wedding party like that. I mean, they might do that shit in the hood, but ain't nobody else trying to do all that. So she got in a big fight with this guy yesterday. She says, we're supposed to move in together in less than a month. I confided in him not long ago and shared with him how my mom has a problem with alcohol. He was supportive and gave advice at the time. I don't drink often, and if I do, I don't get drunk. But Friday, I had a stressful day at work. I'm a nurse, so I took myself to the bar afterwards. I had 2 drinks and was a little tipsy. This is the first time I've ever texted my boyfriend. I texted one too many times and kept texting because he was ignoring me. I also called multiple times and he ignored my calls. Yesterday, I reached out again because this never happens, and he said he wasn't feeling well and that I was drunk and he wasn't in the mood for all that. So I got upset. We went back and forth, and he says I can't have it both ways. I can't complain about my mom and then behave the same way as her and expect not to be told about it, end quote. So basically, he's equating my mom's drinking problem to me being drunk texting him just one night. I felt so sad and insulted because I felt he was usually something that's so personal against me. It didn't feel good. He also told me he ignored me because I was being fucking annoying. I feel grossed out because why did my mom have to be brought up? Why use something like that to try to hurt me? I'm not really sure how to handle this one. Besides the argument, there's been some other issues. I carry a lot of the financial responsibility in the relationship, and it's been getting to me as well. Now this. Deb, is this a reason to break up? I'm so confused. I care about him, but why is he so comfortable saying hurtful things to me? My head is all over the place, and I don't know if I'm making it a bigger deal than what it really is. Okay, let me just explain this. If I was him, I would have said the same shit to your drunk ass. First of all, okay, you said it was one time, but you have to look at the thing in total. You drunk texted him, and then you kept texting him. Then you called him, and you kept calling him. And then you was mad because he was ignoring you, so you just kept it up. Do you know how fucking annoying that is? He's right. So what you did was turn around and throw a red flag that you might be on the same path as your mother. So from someone who has a fear of being with somebody who's kind of got some kind of dependency, he's on red alert now. And you did that to yourself. Hold on a second, I'm choking here. He's on red alert because you acted as if damn fool with some alcohol. You got that fire water and you're going to commence to acting stupid. So I would say that the reason to break up with him is A, the age gap is just way too big. And B, because he's using you because you have more money than him. So those would be my two reasons that I would have been left him. But you want to stick around and fight about because he called you out on your drunken behavior. Like I said, if it was me, I think he was nice because you would have got super told about yourself. You feel like we only had 2 drinks. If 2 drinks does that to you, where you act that much of a fool, you don't need to ever drink again. Do you feel me? 2 drinks, you should be giggling and, happy and just talking shit and just being pleasant. But instead, you get into some kind of thing where you just want to like robo-text somebody or robocall and just act stupid when they don't respond to your drunk text. So for you, please go to triple AA, whatever it is, alcohol, whatever it is, Al-Anon, and you get yourself in a program so you don't ever drink again. What you demonstrated is some very scary behavior. Question number 5. This is a female in the 28 to 30 age group. She's Caucasian from Portland, Oregon. The male in question is the same age group, 28 to 30, and he's mixed race. Summary of issue. Is this, quote, silly joke worth me breaking up with my boyfriend over? I've been dating my boyfriend for a year, and we've had lots of fun, adventure, and love. We have an intense connection and chemistry, but can sometimes become intense in a negative way. We've also had a number of petty fights and arguments over the year. Okay, I don't know what all these letters means. We also don't fully agree politically on our worldviews. My boyfriend was cleaning the bathroom, and I walked in to grab my hairbrush. As I went to grab the brush, he decided to splash me in the face with the running water. I immediately said, don't do that because I don't like water in my face. I don't like those kind of jokes in my face. And I've told him this before. We had 2 other petty fights pertaining to jokes in my face, but he, quote, forgot. For the record, I'm quite a silly person. I love a joke, but I don't like jokes in my face. He immediately retaliated and started yelling at me, asking why the fuck I was acting like that, saying I was being over the top, that I can't take a joke, and going so far as to say I'm like woke people you see on social media who flip out and make a big deal about everything. He's right-leaning and I'm left-leaning. Don't have nothing to do with him treating you in a way that you specifically asked him not to. You bringing politics into something that don't have shit to bring politics in, trying to dilute the heat that you know I'm about to put on your ass. I must be in a bad mood today. These letters are just 28 and 30. I'm sorry, 28 and 38 was the other letter. She doesn't say specifically, but they're both in the 28 to 34 age group. So, plenty old enough to know better. Let's put it that way. So I tried to justify why I reacted like that, but I wound up becoming it became a very tense moment. So I left and went to a nearby cafe to finish my work for the day. He then sent me this text message, quote, I don't want to be in a relationship where everything is restricted or not allowed. Please, a drop of water in the face, everyone is doing that. I could even do it to my dad. It's not violent or disrespectful. It's just fucking dumb joke and not worth creating drama over. I'm sorry that we are facing a situation like that, but I can't be sorry for this because it's ridiculous. In further convos, he was adamant that he wouldn't apologize. This is his pattern, Deb, but in this case, I'm bothered most by his reaction, his handling of the situation, the diatribe I had to endure, and his tangent into politics and refusal to apologize all the time. It makes me feel like I am the one who should be apologizing to him. I feel so angry and sad, not about the water, but because I feel like my feelings are not valid to him. He also said if I hadn't, quote, flipped out from that he wouldn't have reacted, he would have reacted calmly and would have apologized in the moment. I don't think that's true. Anyway, do you think this is grounds to break up with him? Am I being overtold? Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you why. Because the people who are going to focus on the water part are stupid. They don't understand the aggression behind what he did. And plus, you specifically asked him numerous times not to put stuff in your face. He can tell any other kind of joke. You specifically said, don't throw water things, don't do stuff in my face. Okay, one thing you asked him to do, and he can't do it, he won't do it, and he wants to argue with you about why you should allow him to do it and not complain about it when he does it, even though you specifically asked him not to do it. So for me, by the time he did it the second time, I would have been done. See, and my thing is like, you guys are young, and this is the problem when people are young. You don't understand what behaviors and patterns mean. You don't get it yet. And I understand it comes with age and maturity. You see a pattern and you understand what it means, and then you cut the person loose because you're not trying to be caught up in that pattern. So this guy has a pattern of doing things to you that you asked him not to do, and then not refusing to apologize and refusing to stop. So I mean, my thing is, I don't care if you apologize, just don't do it again. But the fact that you want an apology don't mean shit if you're gonna turn around and keep doing it. Why do you want an apology? Apology doesn't mean anything, because people who give a shit don't need to apologize, right? This isn't a mistake. It's not like he fell down and carrying you a glass of water and broke a glass that you got from your grandmother or something. Tripped over the car. That's a mistake. That's something that you apologize for. When someone intentionally does something that you specifically asked them not to do, and you sit there talking about, well, I need an apology, you're stupid. Okay? There's no apology to be made. They did that consciously and with intent. So for you to try to excuse it with a compliment, they know they got your nose open, and they know they can treat you any old kind of way, and you're not going to do nothing about it, except that some dried up, crunchy words. Well, oh, I'm sorry. And then you just go back to life as usual. Never accept an apology from a man unless, like I said, it was a true accident. And when they do something like this and you accept the apology, what you're basically doing is giving him a permission slip to continue that kind of abusive behavior. You don't do that. You don't handle it this way. So yes, there's absolutely a reason to break up because of his repeated violation of your boundary. He doesn't give a shit about your boundary. He doesn't give a shit about what you want for respect and the treatment of your body. So this is definitely a man that you leave in the dust. Okay? Am I making myself clear? If not, listen to this over again so you get real clear understanding of what I'm talking about, because this is some bullshit. Question number 6. This is a young man, the 22 to 27 age group. He's African American from Columbus, Ohio. Summary of issues. Some girls are interested in me at the gym, but I work there. What should I do? I'm a sales manager at a corporate gym, and since I interact with 100 people a day on the fitness floor, I meet people from all walks of life. Recently, though, I've had a few girls take some interest in me and are starting to actively hit on me, or only come when I'm working on shift to see me. Now I'm trying to set a good example for my team and not pursue any of these girls at the gym, since I'm trying to build my career. But a part of me is wondering if I'm also missing out on building other key parts of life experience if I don't pursue. Not sure what to do, but I would love some advice, since I heard that you worked as a trainer and managed gyms for many years. My full disclosure, I did have a relationship with a coworker in the past when I was a teenager, and it didn't really work out, obviously. It's the reason I know it may not be the best to do this. Funny enough, I sold her a gym membership a few months back after reconnecting after many years. Anyways, I'm trying to weigh my options, or just be fine with being plainly platonic all the time. Okay, young African-American man, you're about to make one of the mistakes that I've seen black men make in corporate America for decades. And this is, you go into the workplace, and white dudes do it too, but as a black man, you got to remember that you already on display. They already looking at you. They already micro-examining every single thing that you do and how you conduct yourself. Your little ass needs to be the picture of professionalism at all times. What you gonna do, then you're gonna do this from now on. Anytime a girl expresses an interest in you, you're going to say, I'm flattered that you have an interest in me. You do want to say that because you want to keep, you want to maintain. You don't want to like put them all the way off. You're gonna stay. Your interest is flattering, but I have to tell you, this is my workplace, and one thing I don't do is mix business with pleasure. So I'm never gonna ask you out. If you ask me out, it's not gonna happen. I need to maintain boundaries of professionalism, which is for my protection as well as yours, as well as the company image. So I hope you understand this is nothing personal. This is a boundary I've put in place because I work here. This is my job. And like I said, it's very flattering. You're a beautiful woman and all of that. But this is it. This is all we're going to have happen. You may not even have to say that much, because once you say that you don't mix business with pleasure, they'll probably go away on that point. But I'm just saying, in case they come back or, oh, why? Or something like that. Oh, but anything like that, then you have to follow up with the extra stuff I said. But generally, by just saying, that I'm very flattered, but I make it a policy to stay professional on my job. I do not mix business with pleasure. Thank you for respecting my choice. Okay, so you should just be able to get away with saying that. And that's what you're going to say to everybody. The exact same thing. I also don't want you eyeing the women. Okay, keep your eyes in your fucking head. They're going to come in there. They're going to be like wearing, the little bra tops and the booty cutter shorts with their ass hanging out and all this old stuff that women like to do to get men's attention. Ignore them. You have to understand that only a certain mentality kind of woman is going to put herself on display like that to try to get a men's attention. They generally have very low self-esteem and very poor boundaries, and they're desperate for attention. So, if a woman's confidence in herself is so low that she's depending on complete strangers to look at her for her to feel good about herself, that is somebody you don't want to be in a relationship with, because it's a vacant hole that you will never be able to fill up. She has no confidence, so she's going to constantly be on you for affirmations and, kudos and compliments and all that stuff. It becomes fucking exhausting for men. You need to have a woman who's got some confidence in herself so that she knows she looks good. And you say, baby, you looking especially, delicious today or something like that. That's all she needs. She don't need it from 900 other men. So be very careful with that kind of woman. So I'm telling you now, if you follow my instructions, you will take these instructions and you will go a long way in any job that you have. You have to be professional and you have to maintain a boundary with any female employees, clients, who are related to other coworkers or clients, and of course the other employees. Do this and you will do well in life. Once men start following their dick on the job, all kinds of bad things happen. Sexual harassment lawsuits, terminations for cause, lawsuits that's going to get your personal property because somebody feels violated. It's going to be drama galore. Heed my words, okay? You're just starting out in life. Do the right, make right choices, make smart choices, and do it. Start doing it now. Honey, I was in the gym today and saw a bunch of them, and they just... and what is it with, I'm sorry, y'all, but this is true. What is it with white girls who don't want to wear underwear under their exercise pants? They have underwear that's like you can see it like a tiny little line, but wear some fucking drawers under your exercise clothes. They're sitting up there and just, the pants are sliding down and going all up in their coochie and all this stuff here. And, the dudes are looking and the women mistakenly think that, that the guys are looking at them and that they want them, or I don't know, because the look on the girls' faces was like, like they're all of that. And then the dudes just like give them, like they look, of course they look, because it's on display, they're going to look. But as soon as the girl goes by, the dude turns away, he's doing all this kind of stuff here and looking all disgusted and stuff. So girls, you are not impressing anybody by flaunting yourself like that. Have some class about yourself. Don't go walk around looking like you just stepped out of a Fredericks or Hollywood catalog at the gym. Titties all out, booty stuff all up in your ass crack, all up in your coochie. Just ridiculous. And you don't need to do all that just to go and exercise. It's so fucking embarrassing. It's like, are parents teaching their daughters to have any kind of like decorum anymore? Is this just a fucking free-for-all? Everybody just put everything on display and just be a freak and just let everybody know you easy and quick to get in the bed and all this stuff. What the fuck is going on with young women? I've been concentrating on the self-esteem and all this stuff here, but we got to go down to the basic foundational stuff. How you dress when take your little narrow ass out in public. You don't dress like that. That's not necessary. If you have to do all that to get a man's attention, what the fuck you think you'll have to do to keep it? And what kind of guy is going to come at you when you dress like that? He's going to be trash. Men of class don't approach women who look like that. So, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. And then they want to sit on a machine. I have these these wipes, like this thing I carry in my gym bag, these antibacterial wipes. Of course, they have the stuff on the gym floor, but I reach in my little bag, pull that stuff out, and I wipe them seats down. Because, they're not wearing underwear, and they have shorts on and stuff. I don't know what kind of BD you got leaking out onto the seats and the stuff, because your ass don't wear no drawers. There's no layer between their intimate parts and the nasty equipment that they're sitting on in the gym. So any bacteria that's there just flooding up into their body. I just can't even imagine somebody who cares so little about themselves like that, that they think that that's cute. And you just spreading disease and fungus and bacteria all over the fucking gym. And anybody who did the same thing as your little ass is going up in you too. Put some drawers on and put some fucking clothes on when you go to the gym. Yeah, they don't have no daddies. They don't have the mothers aren't teaching them nothing. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, camel toes. I mean, sometimes they be showing like labia and shit, because the shorts are so short and they sit down and the shorts ride up and you just see everything. It's just ridiculous. And they think that shit is cute. And the only ones I've ever seen doing that are white women. All the women of color wear drawers or they have shorts on over something else, or the shorts fit so they don't do all that sliding around and stuff. So I'm telling you, I've been in gyms for 30 years. I started working out when I was a teenager, going to gyms and stuff like 18, 19 years old. And that's what I've been seeing for all these years. So I'm not saying this off the top of my head. I'm just saying, y'all need to do different to be better. And you young man, make sure that you keep, and you sales manager, make sure that the gym manager keeps all them sanitary wipe things and paper towels and the bottles are full all the time, okay? Because people are nasty. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from London. Summary of issue. An older male customer looked me up on social media and messaged me. Should I be worried? Oh. Yeah, but Whoopi Goldberg with her 2-ton ass is not going to nobody's gym. They probably don't make panties in her size. Actually, wait. This was way back in the 90s. Me and my friend we was going shopping. We went to this mall and they had this, I forgot the name of the store. But they specialize in stuff for big girls. And my friend, she had put on some weight after pregnancy, so she felt more comfortable going in there. So, I went in there with her. Child, we went to this, they have they had a table where they had the stuff on sale. I picked up a pair of leopard print drawers just because I just wanted to see. Them things was about this wide. And I'm like, what size booty would fit in this? So, yeah, we had a good laugh about it. But that's probably the size that Whoopi wear. And Whoopi is not is not the subject of this conversation. Because she's past that age of going around prancing around trying to get male attention. Isn't she gay anyway? After Ted dancing, she was like, oh, let me switch teams. Was that her? Maybe I don't want to lie on the woman. Anyway, let me get back to what I'm supposed to be talking about here. Question number 7. This is a female. Okay, so this is the older man in the social media thing. So yesterday I got a message that said, hey, cutie, I recognize you from some shop XYZ. Straight away, I was like, okay, this is creepy. He had eventually, obviously, rather searched up my name from his receipt, as my first name isn't very common, so I'd be easy to find. Okay. I'm going to suggest that you recommend to your company, because I've done this at other jobs too, where people want you to use your real name. Every employee should have an alias. So if your real name is, let's say, Sheila, your alias is Angela. So everybody knows when they look at the thing that says Angela, that is you. And your name tag that you walk around with should say Angela. Nothing identifiable about you in your private life should be a part of your job like that. You're not an executive. So please suggest that to your manager and they should institute that policy immediately. I don't understand why and even like at call centers and stuff, they all have fake names. You talking to somebody with a heavy accent as hell, they call it you call it India, and then they say their name is Joe. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. The fake name, the alias. That's what you guys should have at your job. So let's see what else is happening here. I shouldn't have replied, but he has no pictures. So I had no idea who he was. Yeah, see, y'all and that curiosity, that's going to get you killed. Okay, you should have deleted that and blocked it and not replied like you were fucking interested in what this clown was talking about. Mistake number 2. I thought, well, work can't do anything if they have no idea who he is, and I would be paranoid thinking every man I serve could be the one who messaged me. So I asked if I know him and how he found me. Apparently, I came up as a friend suggestion, which is bullshit because we have no mutual friends. He said I served him today. So I asked what he looks like. He described, but I really wasn't sure. See, you doing too much. And I was getting more and more details. He said I've served him multiple times, and then that worked out who he was. He says that he sent a picture on Snapchat, which I don't have, and that seems sus as fuck to me as well. So I replied, saying that I only talk to you work, but who you are, and it's very creepy for you to do this. And now I know who you are, and I will be reporting this to my employer. My job found him on the CCTV. I'm not sure what they're going to do about it, but they are now aware of the situation. I'm just kind of scared because I didn't think that it would be that serious, but my boyfriend thinks it is. Should I be worried? Is there anything else I should do to keep myself safe? Yes, quit that job immediately and go find a different one. Let me tell you, when people go to that kind of extreme, the next thing he's going to try to figure out is where you live. Which a lot of you, you have your real phone numbers on social media. You have your geolocator active. You put up pictures of where you are all the time. You put up pictures of your school. You put up the information about where you work, where you go to school. You talk about stuff in your neighborhood. You talk about bars you frequent. You have pictures of your friends so they can link around with your friends and figure out where you're going to be at any one time. So see, y'all be doing too much on social media. Older people like us that had a life before social media, we don't do all that. But you people that were born like in the 90s and the 2000s, your life is on the internet. You need to learn to take your life off the internet, and you're going to have them kind of pages, shut them down and make them private. Everybody in the world doesn't need to see your pictures. I know y'all love this attention. You want to get what they call it, clout. You think that shit is important on the internet. It gives you some sense of something. I don't know what it is. It's complete random strangers on the internet that you'll never meet and never know. Why in the world do you put so much importance on what they think? It's just beyond my comprehension. Who gives a fuck? Are they paying you? If they do, then you need to be having you an OnlyFans or something. Doing some freak shit, you get paid then. But just to have like a Snapchat or Twitter or something, and you want to put your whole life online for the world to see, and then you run into weirdos like this, and now it's too late. You can't undo what you've already done. So those of you listening to this, close your social media pages and make them all private. If you need to have something like for a club or something like that, set a separate page up for that, okay? Keep it off your personal stuff. Your personal stuff should only be for people that you know, your friends and family. I would not even let coworkers be, because sometimes they be stalkers and weirdos too. Who is Ted? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, yeah, this is what you need to do. So quit that job. Your boyfriend is right. This guy has a stalker mentality. So leave that job and go somewhere else. And then in the future, do what I said. If you're going to be working in retail or something like that, make sure that you use an alias on the floor and on your receipts. Okay? And everybody will know it's you. And on your pictures and stuff, turn the geolocators off. That should be the standard setting on your phone. It's off. Like mine, I have to turn it on my Fitbit if I want to go for a walk and track, where I went and stuff. I turn it on, and while I'm doing that, and then I turn it right back off. Everybody don't need to know where I am. It's none of their goddamn business. Question number 8. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from North York, Canada. The male in question, same age group, 20 to 34. Summary of the issue. My boyfriend said he finds it hard to desire me because of my mental health. And you're surprised? For context, I really struggle with my mental health and I have quite low self-esteem. When we got together, I was more confident and 20 kilograms lighter, but as my mental health worsened, so did my self-esteem. We've been going through a rough patch lately, and I cheated on him by kissing a stranger at a club because I didn't feel desired by my boyfriend anymore, because he wasn't making me feel desired. Remember what I said earlier about the girls who are attention seeker and how it's like a black hole? No matter what you do, it's never fucking enough. They're just needy. It's perfect. Now here it is in real life. She says, I haven't been desiring him. I know, because he wasn't making me feel desired, I haven't been desiring him. I know it was a completely wrong thing for me to do. We had a conversation lately, and he said that finds confidence really attractive, and he finds it hard to desire me when I'm so down and being so hard on myself, and berating myself for gaining weight, etc. I get where he's coming from. When I'm in a depression, I don't look after myself. But I also really hate myself. I can't bear to look at myself in the mirror most days. I'm just not too sure how to move forward from this. I'd really appreciate any advice. Get yourself on the near shrink couch like pronto, like tomorrow. A lot of them do, the online thing. You can have a Zoom session or something. That's what you need. Because I'm going to tell you something. You guys in the 22 to 20, oh no, I'm sorry, 28 to 34 age group. But you don't say what end of that. So let's just say you're 30. Let's go in the middle. 30-year-old man, and you expect him to deal with all this bullshit and stay in a relationship and stay in love with you and find passion and romance with some buck crazy bitch. That's what you saying. You sitting up there being all depressed and low self-esteem and no confidence and feeling bad about yourself. What the hell is he supposed to do about that? What the hell is a 30-year-old man with no training in mental health supposed to do about your falling off the wagon self? I think he's good. I would have been left you. I don't do crazy people. Once people start talking about, oh, I'm depressed, I'm out. They'll be like, well, you get to be depressed. I'm not telling you not to, but you're gonna be doing without me. I'm not about that life. I'm not about nobody with no dependencies. I'm not gonna deal with your depression, your bipolarism, your nothing. I'm not about that life, and I don't want to be bothered. So you go and handle it, and we could probably still be friends, maybe on alternate months when it's leap year, maybe. But, to think that we're going to have a romantic partnership, you can't even be there for yourself. Think about this realistically. You can't be there for yourself. How the hell are you supposed to be there for him? If he stayed in a relationship with you, it would be very one-sided. You'd be taking and he'd be giving, and the man would come depleted and exhausted. That's where this is going. And so for him, the best choice is to deuce out and let you figure out what you need to do to save yourself. It's not his responsibility to save you. You're not his wife. You're not his child. So figure it out. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Pensacola, Florida. Summary of issue. My friend, she's a 25-year-old female to male trans. Okay. Is upset that I don't want to have sleepovers anymore. I'm not sure if you are the best person to write to about this, but I know you at least be straight with me. Well, you right about that. My friend and I have been close since we were 17. We're both females in our mid-20s. Recently, she decided that she's a man and will undergo hormone therapy. I've been dating my boyfriend for 3 months, and I really like him, and I want to continue to develop this relationship. The issue is that a couple of weeks ago, I was playing games at my friend's apartment. It was getting late, so I said I needed to go home. So she's calling her female friend he now, told me that I could spend the night. I thanked him for the offer, but said I would prefer to sleep at my house. He then said I have never turned down his invite for a sleepover. I do love having sleepovers, to be honest, and asked if it was because he is trans. And I was honest and said it was because he is a man. He accused me of being transphobic. They always whip that one out when you don't do what they want you to do. Bunch of fuckers. For treating him differently since he came out. I explained it out of respect for my relationship. I reached out to talk, but he hasn't responded. To be honest, if I wasn't friends with him previously, I wouldn't have even been over to his place to play games. Deb, I want to be a good ally, but I still feel uncomfortable with overnight stays at another man's house. He is my first and only friend who is the opposite sex and trans, so I'm really not familiar with how to navigate this, and I know I still have a lot to learn on how to best support him. Why is it your job to support him? Her. It. Why is that your job? I'm confused. That's a decision that she, him, her made, and that's for him, her, she to deal with. That's not your red wagon. That's nothing to do with you. So for me, I could read the rest of this, but I don't really want to because this, how I feel about all this nonsense. But the bottom line is you have the right to have boundaries. You wouldn't spend a night with any other man. So there's no, now that she want to say that she's a man, the same rules should apply there as well. Especially she's going to be going through hormone therapy and stuff, so she's not going to be, her body's going to shift over to be more male than female as far as, that kind of stuff goes. Now, there's nothing, you've already said the truth, and that is the truth. I have a man, And I wouldn't spend the night at any other man's house. I'm not going to spend the night at yours either. That's all you have to say. And now, she want to lob you out and call you transphobic and all that stuff. Like I said, that's a term, like I've seen that online hundreds of times. Whenever you have a controverting opinion and you don't do what the trans person wants you to do, they throw that at you like a weapon. Well, you're transphobic. No, motherfucker, I'm not transphobic. I'm just not about that bullshit that you talking. That's fine for you to make that choice, but it's nothing to do with me. I'm going to make a different choice and you're going to like it. If you don't like it, you're still going to deal with it. But either way, no, I'm not changing. So that's what you're facing. It's very admirable that this is your friend and you want to be supportive and encouraging and all this kind of shit. I wouldn't be bothered. I would be like, you want to flip around and decide that you're a frog or whatever you are today, have at it. I don't care. But one thing you're not going to do is try to call me names and put a negative label on me because I don't do what you want me to do. And that's what's happening here. Yeah, you know me. I'm going to just tell it the way it is. But that's happened to me so many times because they say they want, oh, well, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I say, no, right? I'm not about that life. And then they well, you're transphobic. Well, no, I'm not. I just have a different opinion. I'm not afraid of you. That's what the definition of phobia means, that you have an unnatural fear of. I have no fear about you being mental and stuff. You always need to go to a shrink and work that out. But what I'm not going to do is buy into your delusions, and you're not going to impact my life with your delusions. It's not going to happen. So I shut that down. I say no. And then they want to call you names. Oh, you're trans, and they want to call you cis something, or I don't know. They have all these different words that's supposed to be insulting, but I don't want to be bothered. Yeah, I mean, it's like, we can stick to our beliefs just like they can stick to theirs. Why has this got to be a one-way street? Like, you have an opinion, so now everybody got to agree with you. When has that ever happened on this planet? People don't even all like the same flavor of ice cream. So what you talking about? How everybody's supposed to agree with you? So then what, we ice cream phobic too? Lord have mercy. I can't even roll my eyes hard enough. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from San Antonio, Texas. The male in question is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I'm 23 dating a man 10 years older with severe trust issues. How can I help him? By dipping out. Poof. Fading to black. Oh, I forgot I'm wearing my shirt. This is from our merch store, WIIFM. That we have a very excellent video on the channel with that title. It's called What's in It for Me? What's in it for me? That's what this shirt is representing. And what I try to get women to, if these women that are writing in tonight said that to themselves, what's in it for me for these relationships that they're in, they would see that there's nothing there and they would exit them with a peace of mind. So that is the motto that's on the shirt, what's in it for me. And it's a mantra that if you're a dating woman, you need to follow it. You can pick this up. There's the link. Wait, Shay, where's the link for Shay can put the link to the merch URL in the chat. If you're on YouTube, you can see it, and it should show in the instant replay as well. You can order your own to remind you of how to conduct yourself with men. Okay, so she's dating this guy with trust issues. I met him at work, and we had just been talking at first for some time and confirmed that we're together in June. He has some major trust issues. I'm talking every time he sees me, he says, "Are you loyal to me?" Blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, I started sharing my location with him to give him a little peace of mind. Okay, here you go. And that didn't help. He was still questioning me, so I told him every time he comes with these accusations, I automatically think he's cheating because only someone with a guilty conscience would bring it up constantly. And we've broken up over that, or it's a constant argument, mind you. It's only been since June. I also stopped sharing locations because I felt it was just giving him a pass not to work on his trust issues. So fast forward to now. He said he needed, quote, space to think about us, which is to me breaking up because all I said was I want to go to the gym alone. He also texted me an hour later saying that he still wants to be with me. When initially he said he'd go with me, but I really felt he wanted to go to see if guys talk to me, if I'm talking to them. And truthfully, I don't want him to go because I'm already self-conscious about being there. I don't need the extra anxiety. But I explained to him that once I establish a routine and become more comfortable, then he could come with me. He tells me many people go to the gym for validation. Like, what the actual fuck? I just started birth control for him, so I really don't want to gain any more weight, especially because that's happened to me before when I was using it in high school. Any advice on how I can make him more comfortable in our relationship, or simply just any advice at all? Yes, lose him. Get rid of him. First of all, he's too old. Secondly, there's nothing you can do to fix somebody who tells you they have trust issues. And the third thing third thing, there's a video on this channel where I talk about this very thing. When a man tells you that he has trust issues, what that means and how to handle it. I'll try to remember to link to it when I go through the video after. The final and fourth thing is, most of the time when men say that, is game. Let me tell you how that works. So they meet a woman, right, and everything's good, and so here they come. Oh, I have trust issues, says this greasy motherfucker. So then you, not realizing that you're supposed to say, oh, well, thank you for telling me and warning me, so now I know not to mess with your ass. So, but instead, no, you guys always want to put your little super cape on and you're going to fly in there and try to save somebody. So you go and you say, oh, well, I can save you with your cape flying in the wind, like Superwoman. I can save you. I can show you that my love is special and unique and that you can trust me, even if you can't trust anyone else. That's what you want to try to prove to them. And they eat, this game, I'm trying to tell you. So basically what they can do is set you up to jump through hoops, not talk to other men, be afraid to talk to other men, be afraid to have other men talk to you, to know where you are at all times, to limit your comings and goings, to have influence over your wardrobe, to have influence over your friends, influence over your life, while they put you in a smaller and smaller and smaller cage, all because of his trust issues. So, what is this? I just got this instant message. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So any man who would ever tell me, well, I have trust issues, I'm like, well, good. What you want me to do about that shit? Because I don't deal with people that have trust issues. And then they look stunned, right? Because that's not the game. The game is you're supposed to say, oh, really? Well, I'll show you. I want you to have trust again. This and that. I don't give a fuck what you do, where you do it, and who you do it with either. Because I ain't with you like that. And the fact that you have trust, and even if they don't tell me they have trust issues, if they start asking me too many questions, I told you about the dude that had to pull the knife out on that time, talking about who was that on my phone, and like trying to get in my face and stuff. I had to pull that knife on him. I was like, boy, I will gut you. You better get the hell out of my house. So he left because he thought I was crazy, and maybe I am. But one thing I'm not going to do is have somebody asking me questions about anything I do on my phone in my house where I pay all the bills. This is my shit. I do what the hell I want to do in my shit, the way I want to do it, and you're not going to ask me no questions about it. So he had a real lesson. Yeah, if they got trust, they say they got trust issues. You say, well, I hope you find a good shrink, and then you deuce out. That's what you should do. So I hope I gave you the long-winded explanation, but that's the reality of men who have trust issues. And for dudes, if you got a woman who's got trust issues, it's the same thing. You can't fix them. You can't. There's nothing you can do with that. Question number 11, this is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Summary of issue, my boyfriend has dating apps. Well, then that means he ain't really your boyfriend, right? I done told y'all boyfriends don't mean shit, but let's see what she got to say. So me and my boyfriend have been together for a year. We have a 1.5 hours. No, we live, I'm sorry, that's not half. We live 1.5 hours apart, so we try to rotate our turns on coming over. I recently went to his house this weekend and saw when he got up to use the restroom, I saw that he had 6 notifications from Bumble. Last one was at 7 p.m. right before I got there. I confronted him the next day, and he laughed, saying I was doing the most, that he has notifications on, so sometimes he opens it up, denied ever doing anything. I'm 26, and he's 33. He turns it on me and says, well, you're attractive. I'm sure there's people in your DMs. The difference is I don't reply. I thought I had a boyfriend. Start saying how, well, I don't know what she's talking about. I'm always in my feelings. Oh, he starts saying how I'm always in my feelings, and it's frustrating that I'm always assuming. Okay, he's trying to gaslight you. Having a dating app on your phone and getting notifications means that the account's active, right? You guys who do the dating app things, I don't mess with them. So that means your account's open and you accepting communications, correct? Am I right? It sounds like it. Then to me, that means that what you thought was a boyfriend was like a friend with benefit, right? Because you are an hour and a half away. You got to alternate. So he has a lot of time on, where he can do whatever he want to do, and he's not looking at you. So yeah, you thought you had a commitment, but you don't. So what you gonna do? Next question, number 12. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group out of the UK. Summary of issue. I'm almost 30 and I know I don't want kids. Is this a red flag to guys? I just really don't want children and have felt this way for years. I've only feel more resolved in this decision the older I get, despite everyone telling me that I'll change my mind. My question is, do you think this is affecting my desirability on dating apps? I have this displayed prominently on my profile because it's important to me that a potential partner understand this is a deal breaker. I rarely get any matches. I think I'm a normally attractive woman. I've had several friends, male and female, because I'm bi, look at my dating profiles and confirm that they are solid and I don't have any glaring red flags on them. This is the only explanation I can come up with, that people are turned off, that I don't want kids. I guess I just thought this would be a more widely accepted choice, but I feel very much in the minority and struggle to find others that want the same things as me. I often get told that because I don't want kids, that I'm not on the same biological clock as other women and therefore have even more time to find someone. But like, I don't really want to still be dating, and I don't think not wanting kids means I should have to be single any longer than anyone else. No, let me tell you something. You're skipping a whole bunch of stuff, other reasons that I'm thinking is more likely than the fact that you don't want kids. Number one is that you're bi. You know, a lot of men find that threatening, right? They don't want a woman who's going to possibly tip out on them with another woman. They want a regular relationship with a woman who's into them. Just like women would want, they don't want a bi man. They want a dude who's going to be into them and only them. So number one, I think is that. Number two thing is, you might be overrating your physical attractiveness. So people look at you, say you think you're normally attractive. Well, you might be ugly and just not really to accept it. Because there's a lot of people that don't want to accept that they're not cute. So you put up there that you don't want kids and you bi and you're not cute too. That's a trifecta of fail, and that would be why you don't get no matches. Let's open our minds right here. You trying to pin it all on that? That's not what I'm getting. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, these dudes don't want to. They don't want no kids. They're not trying to have kids. They're not bothered about it. So I don't think it's that. I'm looking at your profiles and that thing I'm bi. I think that's what it is. Question number 13. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Summary of issue: I'm dating an overweight girl. Well, what I know, everybody I seen in Alabama is kind of big. Hey, auntie, I've been going on a couple of dates with a great girl and things seem good. We match personality-wise. She's extrovert, similar humor, etc. And life phase as we're both in university. We talk about our feelings and we both understand each other's feelings. It doesn't seem like a stretch that we would end up in a relationship. There's just one thing. She is overweight and not really into any type of sport or exercise. To me, being sporty is important, and I work out, fitness, and running about 5 times a week. Though I am an athlete, I'm no athlete, I'm pretty lean. As I haven't dated much before, I thought I would ask for advice on this. Does physical appearance and working out matter a lot in a relationship? Everyone has their preferences, but is it likely that I would just grow to like her appearance as we keep dating? It feels dumb not to date her just for being overweight, but it bothers me a bit. I feel a little childish asking questions on physical attributes, but it is a genuine question. Just to clarify, I am attracted to her physically, except for the overweight part. Also, I do not plan on becoming involved in her physical health, nor do I expect her to lose weight. Well, all I can tell you is, I'm born and raised in California. Californians have a, very weird, well, at least at the time, I don't know what people be doing now, have a lot of focus on, eating organically, and everybody want to be running and doing, CrossFit and, working out and going to the gym, and even the old people do Tai Chi and yoga and stuff. I mean, everybody is into health and fitness. It's more an anomaly when you see someone who's not, at least in this state. Now, so you got somebody like that, right? Like I said, I've been lifting weights and doing all that stuff with my brother since I was like 9, 10 years old. So I go to college in Houston. It was a culture shock. I'm running around the block, right? I'm running walking my usual 5 miles. And every black woman that I saw, white women too, everybody was like, like I was like some kind of like weird thing, like a dodo bird to come back to life or something. They're looking like, because they ain't never seen no shit like that before. So, um, I can only imagine what it's like in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Most of the women they was big girls, but I don't know, but they just had this presence. It just beautiful women. I mean, skin just beautiful, makeup always flawless, hair just laid. I mean, nails done. They walk around, they be big girls, right? But they be prancing. It's just like they have this sexy walk going. And the men loved them, couldn't get enough of them. All the big girls were married, and the little skinny girls, like, well, I mean, I'm gonna try to get married. I'm Scarlet, but I'm just saying the smaller girls were the ones who didn't have nobody. I was just dating around because the men all the wives were the big girls. Let me just put it that way. And these men were devoted to them. I mean, just like all over them and, affectionate, holding their hand. I mean, just, it was nice to see. So I'm going to tell you this. You're judging her by your standards. Because you like to run around and play basketball and do all this hopping and jumping around, doesn't mean that everybody's like that. Now, if you can't see a life with someone like that, because, if she doesn't exercise, like by the time, like say you guys got married, she was pregnant, and she didn't exercise, she would have a very hard labor and delivery because her body would be out of shape. It wouldn't work for her. The only thing that you can do is, as you move forward, you might decide, by the time you get to hugging on her and loving on her and stuff, that, hey, this ain't so bad. Because dudes talk about there's more cushion for the pushing. And they don't like bony girls because they be like, I be getting bruised and stuff because you don't have no curves. So you just have a lot to think about. I can't make this decision for you because it's going to be, you have to decide because any relationship, I mean, you got the good foundation, but what could be missing is sexual attraction. And in order for it to be a relationship that sustains time, that has to be there as well. If you're turned off because she's too big for your taste, then it's not going to work. But so only you can make that decision. But like I said, I wanted to point out to you that there's plenty of men that like, larger size women, and they don't have no problem with it. No problem at all. So let's move on. Question number 14. We got 25 questions tonight. We're on question number 14. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Wichita Falls. Some issue. My boyfriend is too agreeable with people and it irritates me. We've been together for over 5 months now. I really like him a lot and he has a lot of great qualities, but sometimes I just find him to be too agreeable. For example, if a waiter brings him the wrong drink, he would just say no problem and will take it even if he doesn't like it. We went for brunch the other day and he ordered scrambled eggs that were too runny for his taste and he didn't eat anything. I told him you can just ask him to change it and he said no. I asked him if he wants me to do it for him and he said no. He just has a habit of sucking things up and I don't think that's healthy. I also find it a bit of a turnoff if I'm being honest. How should I go about this? Well, I'm going to say this. If he's putting it in his body and it's his stuff, and he says he's not bothered, right? Because he would be the one drinking the drink and he's the one eating the food. If he's okay with it, then little girl, your ass need to be okay with it too. You can't sit across the table from somebody and dictate what they do with their taste buds or what they spend their money on. Okay? You all out your envelope. Now, if you find that his he just don't give a shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Some people, they choose their battles. And it's not a good idea to send food back to the kitchen, to tell you the truth. Because you never know unless they got an open kitchen and you can see what they doing to it. If they walk through them doors and behind it, they be doing some egregious things to people's food if they come to work and they have an attitude because you sent it back. So that's something to consider. That might be something that, reason why he don't want to send it back. He just rather just not eat it. But still, I would tell him, I can't eat this and stuff, but, take it off my bill. But if he doesn't even do that and he pays for it, well then, as long as it's his money, again, what does it have to do with you? Nothing that you said here is hurting you in any way. It's not your food. It's not your money. It's not your drink. Is that your business? Now, if you find that this kind of attitude is too much for you to take, you want someone to be more of a take charge kind of guy who raises a ruckus, so that makes you feel more like he's in charge and large and respectable, then he's not the man for you. So you just have to decide. I personally wouldn't be bothered because it's like if my shit came back wrong, I'll be real quick to tell him, oh no, this is not what I ordered. I remember I went to this restaurant and I ordered a steak and I wanted it medium well. Okay, medium well is just lightly pink inside, but I cut into this thing and blood ran across the plate. I was so grossed out. I just was like, no. So I called the waiter over, the dude I was with. So just eat it, just eat it. I was like, fuck no, I'm not eating this. This is nasty. I don't want it. So I called the waiter. I said, I ordered medium well, right? And he looked on his thing and said, yeah. I said, I pointed to the blood on the plate. And I'm like, what is this then? And he's like, oh my God, I am so sorry. So he took it back and he got it, fixed it and got it right. Gave me a whole fresh plate with, new vegetables and the whole thing. But, I didn't wait for dude to do it. But again, it was going to go into my mouth. He was paying for it, but still, I was going to be the one having to eat it. And I didn't want to eat nothing that looked like it just got cut at the livestock farm. No, that was gross to me. So, yeah, I can understand your frustration, but I'm telling you, this is his personality. So, you coming in trying to change him, it's not going to help. It's not going to happen. Question number 15. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Woodbridge, New Jersey. Summary of issue. What is up with all the men on online dating apps putting, quote, a girl who doesn't take herself too seriously, end quote. Oh, that sounds like some bullshit. Now, y'all who do the online dating, have you ever heard somebody say this? I'm curious. Have you ever heard this or seen this on the profile? They want a woman who doesn't take herself too seriously. Maybe this is more of a rant, but I've seen this quite a lot. There was even a female comedian who did a skit about it. I laughed when I saw her multiple times after she made the joke, but I had noticed it before and found it quite annoying. What do guys mean when they say this? Because from our end, it means they want us to be, quote, lighthearted and carefree, and maybe possibly someone who doesn't expect too much out of him, like, say, in a relationship. A girl who doesn't have too many expectations. And why is it wrong if a girl takes herself seriously? A woman can know what she wants and still be funny and outgoing. I'm just curious if a bunch of men had a meeting and decided unanimously to write a girl who doesn't take herself too seriously on all of their dating profile. Well, I can tell you this is a bunch of bullshit. Let me tell you how I interpret that. I've never seen that before. I don't go on dating apps. But just from communication, when someone says, that they don't want you to take yourself too seriously, that means you don't have boundaries. That means you don't say no. That means you just go with the flow like a tumbleweed. That, whatever he wants, you're fine. You just go along with everything. That's what they mean. But if you're not taking yourself seriously, so the woman who takes herself seriously has expectations, not only for herself, but of others. She has boundaries, not only for herself, but for others. There are things that she will and will not accept. There's treatment she will and will not tolerate. There's words that you can and cannot say to her. And there's repercussions for those things. So see, if you're taking yourself seriously, all of these things are in play. If you're not taking yourself seriously, then he can do whatever he wants to do and treat you whatever kind of way he wants to, and you just going to go with it because you don't take anything seriously, including yourself. That's how I would interpret that. So if I saw that on a dating profile for a man, I would know he was only after some coochie and that he was a bullshit artist, and I would pass him by. Swipe left? That's what I would suggest. Okay. Yeah, allow me to disrespect and mistreat you and do whatever I want to, and you just gonna like it. That's what I would interpret it as. Let's move on to question number 16. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group. He's African American from Oakland, California. Oh, homeboy. Summary of issue. My mother resents me due to the whole situation with my father. What is the best way for me to make it right with her before I leave home? A little background. I'm the only child of both my mother and father, and I'm 19. So my mother resents me, as she should, due to the situation between her and my father. She only married my father because she found out that she was pregnant with me, and they've been legally married for almost 20 years now, despite separating when I was a toddler. Oh, they got that black folks kind of divorce where they still legally married, but they ain't together. Father skipped out on child support, abandoned the family, leaving my mother holding the bag, so to speak. She had to work nightly jobs as a single mother to homeschool me and make sure I was clothed and fed. As a result, my father went to jail for owing back support, and my mother suffered emotionally, mentally, and even physically taking care of me, especially as a teenager when I kept having a horrible attitude toward her. So even if I never speak to her again after I move out or even see her again, what's the best way for me to make it right for her? Even if she never forgives me, I want her to know how to at least make amends with her. Well, don't you know how to have a conversation? I mean, you were pretty clear here. Why can't you have that kind of conversation with your mother face to face? You got a little job, you got some money, take her out to brunch or breakfast, dinner, something. Don't have to be expensive. Just the two of you go. And then tell her, you have some things to say that you want to say to her. Clear the air before you move out, before you move out into your adult life. And then you tell her all the things that you wrote here. How you feel about your dad skipping out on abandoning you, both of you. Because she got to remember, it wasn't just her that he abandoned. It was you too. And, she worked nightly. She worked jobs and all that stuff to homeschool me. Well, she didn't have to homeschool. She couldn't put you in a school. But she chose to homeschool you, so that was her choice. And then, working jobs, I mean, everybody works. So that, you got a kid, you got a job mostly, unless you got a man who's super balling. Everybody works. So all moms work. So that's nothing that's special and unique there. Your daddy went to jail, as he should have. And, she suffered when you were a teenager acting a fool. I would think if anything that you're going to apologize, it would be that. Say, I was young and stupid and immature. But I do want you to know that I appreciate, seriously, all the sacrifices you made on my behalf and the way that you raised me up and all the time and energy and effort that you put into making me the man that I am now. And, Mama, I love you. Fill in all the blanks and say all the nice stuff that you feel and give her a big hug. And then tell her, as soon as I get out of school and I'm making some money, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you like you took care of me. Okay? And then do it. If your mama want to go on a cruise or something, take your little ass over there to the travel agent and buy her a ticket. That's what you do after you get out of school, okay? So you can have some goals for yourself. I'm going to be out of school when I'm 24, and I'm going to get me a job. I'm going to save up some money. So by the time I'm 28, 29, I'm going to send my mama on a 2-week cruise so she can relax. And you're going to book her with all the, spa treatments and all the shit that's on the ship. You're going to pay for all of that. That's what you can do. Okay? But the main thing is apologize for your teen years, because teens are horrible people. Enough teens could really make the world rotate off its axis, because they are just some terrible little individuals. Woof. Question number 17. This is a female in the 22 to 28 age group. She's Asian from Tacoma, Washington. And the male in question, say 28 to 34, and he's white. Summary of issue. I got a drunk text from an ex-coworker, and I don't know how to proceed. Okay, what is this with folks drunk texting in this week's column? This past weekend, I was up late watching YouTube and playing some video games. It was about 11:45 p.m. when I randomly got a message on Snapchat from a former coworker of mine. He left the company for a few months back to get a different job, and we used to talk basically every day at work before he left because our workstations were right next to each other. If we ever had any conversation out of work, they were usually just things like video game news, or he sent me pictures of some Pokemon that he caught in his game or something like that. I never had any flirtatious conversation with him, and I'm not at all attracted to him. Any conversations I had with him before this past weekend didn't feel like there was any ulterior motive behind them either. So I was a bit surprised when I got a Snapchat message from him at 11:45 last night, and all the message said was, quote, "How are you?" I hadn't posted anything in my story. Okay, blah, 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 blah. She replies, "Fine, HBU." Oh, I guess that's how about you. Is that what that means? I have to learn this cryptic shorthand. Quickly, he replied to me that he was watching Pokemon. Why don't you come over and join me? At 11:45 at night. Now, there were a lot of obvious spelling mistakes in the second message he sent, so I immediately assumed that he was drunk, even though he'd mentioned it to me multiple times when we worked together that he doesn't drink anymore. Still, I was really taken aback and disturbed by what I perceived as a booty call type message that I've never even met up with this guy outside of work unless it was a function where the rest of our coworkers were also there. I got super annoyed because I know I've only ever been nice and never flirty with him, but I've had quite a few guys recently that I know who tried to ask me out just because I was nice to them. Anyway, I replied, "What?" Just in case I was somehow misreading the situation, and he took a while to get back to me before he replied, "Drunk talk, LOL." Again, I was annoyed. I told him to go to bed. He said nope, and I just stopped responding after that. The next day, he didn't say anything about it, but I don't know how I'm supposed to talk to him again after this. I feel super awkward, especially thinking that he might have a thing for me if it wasn't just, quote, drunk talk, and I don't even think about addressing it with him would help. How should I proceed? Should I block him? I most likely won't ever see him again, but I'm nervous about the possibility that one of my other friends from work might invite him to something that I go to, and then we'll have to awkwardly face each other. Should I talk to him about it? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you. No. Oh, if you want to, I mean, you girls kill me with your, I'm scared of some shit that ain't even happened. Deal with the shit that has happened, which is his disrespect. Thinking that, you was going to be coming over to his house at midnight, like, because he texted you out the blue after being months of no contact. Girl, what you were supposed to do when he did that, say, "You slimy motherfucker. Ain't nobody trying to be talking to you at no fucking midnight. Get off my phone. As a matter of fact, I'm going to block you because you are the disrespectful prick, and I don't feel like being bothered with your ass." Then you press send, and once you get the little indicator that he's read it, then you press the block button so he can never call you again. That's how you do dudes like that. You don't entertain their bullshit. And you talking about go to bed and what and all this old stuff here. You don't have all that exchange with them and let them have all that attention. You cuss them out and then you block them. That's all you do. And then you move on with your life. All this conversation, all this back and forth, and oh, but what about this and what about that? And oh, we might see him. And this. So what you see him? It's like you act like you're going to be glued to the floor or something. You can't walk away from him. Or if he comes to you, say, "Fuck away from me, you slimy dog." Ain't nobody trying to talk to you. That's all you have to say. And you can also tell your friends what he did. And say, "So if you're going to invite him to something, don't invite me because I don't want to be there. I don't feel like dealing with anybody like that. That think it's okay to treat me that way." You could do that too. But one thing you should not do in life is go through life afraid of what might happen. Just cuss them out. Always cuss men out. Always. That's the first thing that you should always do. You cuss them out. Now, if you decide that maybe they shouldn't have got cussed out, you can go back and apologize with the bullshit apology like they always give us. Say, "Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have cussed you out. That was a little harsh." Friends, and they'll say yes. And then there you go. But I don't usually by the time I'm cussing somebody out, I mean every word of it and be mad that I didn't cuss them out longer. So you better than me. Question number 18. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Davenport, Iowa. Summary of issue. I recently had a negative experience with someone and I'm still processing it. How do you end a friendship? I'm 32 and I became really good friends with this woman who's 28 about 4.5 years ago. And we've had some arguments over the years, but we always work it out. Recently, though, we were out and she was passive-aggressive the whole night. I pulled her aside to ask what the issue was, and she gave me a non-answer while also stating that I didn't need to be there anymore. It was super embarrassing and made me realize I don't want someone in my life who feels comfortable saying these kind of things to me with a straight face. Overall, I feel like our friendship is over, but just curious if you've ever had a letter where someone had something similar happen. I don't remember. You know how long I've been doing this shit? You expect me to remember every letter? I remember some of the recent shit, but girl, please. I'm going to say this, though. If anybody, why didn't you cuss her out? She's sitting up there talking about you don't need to be there. Well, bitch, I sure fucking don't. I don't know why I even wasted all my time with your bitch ass. Sitting up there trying to get all snarky and shit like you somebody special. Trifling hoe. I was just trying to be friends with your ass because don't nobody else want to be talking to your ugly stank ass. But here I am. But let me deuce out on this shit right now. I'm going to block your bitch ass from my phone. Don't you ever try to call me again. Don't you talk to me. Don't you come to my house. Don't you text me. Stay off my social media. And just down the list. And to be done. So you was friends 4.5 years. Big whoop-de-doo. People be married longer than that and they get a divorce. So you can definitely break off a friendship. It ain't nothing. It's not like she paying you. Shit, I even leave jobs and they are paying me. I don't give a fuck about that either. You do some shit I don't like, I'm out. Man, I'm in a bad mood. I think I'm in a bad mood today. So these people are just irritating me. They're irritating me. And this overall, it's like the lack of boundaries and the lack of courage of these women is just is getting on my nerves today, even more than it usually does. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Spokane Valley, Washington. The male is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. Am I warranted for feeling upset with a partner post-abortion? Okay. These girls kill me asking somebody for permission to have the feelings that they have. Why do you need my buy-in to feel what you feel? Why do you feel so insecure about what you think and your gut reactions and stuff that you need a complete stranger to co-sign on your shit? Ugh. I mean, I guess if you have to ask somebody, it's good that you ask me, but I really want to know why you feel this is necessary. So you think about that. That's your homework. So I am 27. I recently went through a medical termination from an unplanned pregnancy. My partner, he is 34, took a few days off of work to stay home with me while this happened, as well as to drive me to the clinic, which I told him I appreciated. Leading up to and during the termination, I had incredible back pain, and I asked my partner a few times if he would be able to rub my back. Every time I would ask, he wouldn't do it. I would just sort of ignore me asking. I asked many times. I eventually said, I'm disappointed he won't rub my back because I just needed a bit of relief and comfort, and I didn't feel good. Well, about 3 days later, when I was feeling back to myself, I said to him, well, it disappointed me that I asked something so simple, and it would have helped me a lot, but this wasn't received well. He brought up that he had to take time off of work, now won't have time off at Christmas, and will be paid less. This upset me as I also had to take time off, won't have any leave at Christmas, and will be paid less too. But the difference was I had no choice to not take the time and do this. He wanted praise for these things. I've already thanked him for them when I felt they were something a supportive partner would do and not expect to be praised for. This ended in an argument where he said women are entitled. I felt shut off and incredibly sad the past few days from this. It was an incredibly lonely, tough, and heartbreaking experience, and in no way do I feel entitled to ask for help or comfort, just seeking advice if I'm being too sensitive here. Thanks for reading. Remind him, next time he wants some coochie, say, you know, you men sure are entitled. You think you're going to treat me like that, plus knock me up and then have an attitude about it when I get rid of it, and then you think that you're going to get something. The shop is fucking closed. We may as well break up, because that's what I would be doing right about now. First of all, you know, when you get a medical termination, there's no need for him to stay there looking at your ass for 3 days. People don't even do that after they have a whole baby. Let's say you get a C-section. You know, they're cut open, they stitches and shit. So you just milked this. And then you talking about, well, I had back pain. Your ass don't know how to take a Tylenol? Vicodin. They give you pain pills, so what's the problem? Right? All you have to do is ask for them. Say, I'm having back pain. I needed, some medication. And they would have gave you some. Enough to last you, a couple of days. That's all you would have needed. So then, you want them to be rubbing on your back and shit. I mean, I wouldn't want to rub on your back either. Bitch, take a pill like everybody else. Lay on a hot bed. What the fuck? You want everybody to baby you and collar you and shit like that. Use better birth control and get you a better man. That's my solution to your problem. You just want too much. Question number 21. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's African American from Virginia Beach, Virginia. The male is 28 to 34. He's also black. Summary of issue. My ex asked me to write to him in rehab after we haven't spoken in a year. Oh, he did he? Did you cuss him out? That sounds like a cuss out situation to me. I'm just saying, Maggie, just like, damn, I don't. We met in 2020 when we hit it off as friends, but we were both going through a lot. He was struggling with alcohol addiction, and I was a year out of a 9-year-long abusive relationship and in therapy. So about 6 months of being friends, he asked me out. I knew I had commitment issues and was vocal about it, but was actively working on it with my therapist. We agreed to take things slow, but then shortly after, he drunkenly told me that he loved me. I knew it, but hearing it scared me, and I ended things. I know it wasn't fair and wasn't the right way to go about it, but that was a choice I made. We stopped talking for a couple of months. We eventually started messaging occasionally again, but ultimately agreed that we should go our separate ways with our lives. It's been a year since speaking. He messaged me this past week to let me know that he's going on a year-long inpatient rehab facility and that he would appreciate if I wrote to him while he was there. His ass going to jail. Then he told me in high regard despite everything and that I was the right person, wrong time kind of thing. Only family can make phone calls. Everyone else is allowed to write letters. I feel like if I write him, I'm opening a door that I shouldn't. I would like him to know that I'm proud of him, but I know how much I've hurt him in the past, and it feels unfair for me to put myself back in his life when he's getting better. Do I let him live his life without me? Absolutely. So he asked you to write to him, and you just say no. We're through here, sir. There's nothing for me to write you about. Get that from someone else. Don't ever write me or call me or text me again. That's what you do. Okay? Of course, I think he's going to jail and he wants you to be writing him letters so you can send him money and shit. Some money on his books. So he don't want you to call because then you'll know you're calling a facility. What they call it? There's a word for it. Correctional facility. Because they announce it. This is a call from a correctional facility. So, then he wasn't in no rehab. He's fucking lying. Question number 22. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Derby in the UK. Summary of issue. I don't know how to tell a close friend that I don't want to attend her wedding. My dear friend is set up to be married next fall around this time to an abusive fiance. We became close friends in the past few years, and I was there for her pretty closely while he was separated from their home under mandatory restraining order for strangling her. Okay. And she want to marry this fool. Okay. They are both 28, so I'm in my early 30s. In his absence, she was lonely and they weren't allowed to speak for 6 weeks. She told me a lot about their relationship and how it wasn't the first case of abuse. They had been friends since they were children, but started dating about 4 years ago and have been engaged for close to 2 now. I personally think he's an abusive, verbal and physical narcissist and absolutely don't want to go to the wedding. How do I tell her I don't want to go? I really don't like her fiance. Okay, dude, I get it. You just tell her okay, it depends on what you want to do here. Because if he's an abusive type, once they get married, he's going to lock you out of the picture anyway because he feels threatened. You would be a threat to his control over her, right? So be ready for that. So what you have to do is just tell her, this is your time to tell her honestly. I don't understand why you want to marry some fucker who was, you had to get a restraining order again, who tried to choke the shit out of you. What are you doing? This is a huge mistake, and I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to come there and pretend like I'm happy and celebrating a hot mess. I'm not going to be there. And now you want to tell her that like you think you're going to spare her feelings? No. You don't spare her feelings. You rip all of them to shreds. So she can never, ever say, as she goes forward through the hell that's coming her way, that nobody told her. Okay? You want to be the one that told her. So you tell her, you let it all out. Tell her everything so that she can make, she gonna still marry him though because she's that kind of stupid. But you would have a clean conscience and know that you did everything you could to save her, short of kidnapping her or something. You tried your best. And then you bow the fuck out and just let her do her thing. But make sure you tell her also in closing, I'm telling you this because I want you to understand. Once you marry that man, our relationship is over. And don't come to me looking for sympathy. Don't call me to complain about him. Don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for help getting away from him. Nothing. This is a bed that you've chosen to lie in, and you're going to lie in it by yourself. Make sure she understands that, and you have every right to put that boundary up. So she understands, you doing this shit, you making this stupid ass choice, but you're going to be, any problem that comes from it, you're going to have to deal with it by yourself. Make sure she understands that. Question number 23 of 25. This is a young lady in 18 to 21 age group. She's African, she's black, from Montreal, Canada. Summary of issue. How do I set firm and clear boundaries when I'm dating? Help me, Auntie. I'm new at this. I'm 21 as of 2 weeks ago and went on a first date with a guy who's a little older last night. The thing is, I didn't initially know for sure that it was a date. I met him about 2 weeks ago, just hanging out with mutual friends, and after talking to him for a bit, I thought he was cool since I found out that we have similar interests. Yesterday, he asked me to hang out, and I was free, so we set up a time and a place to meet up. We went to this nice park and walked around, took photos. There were plenty pretty flowers there, and eventually sat down and started chatting. It began really cute and wholesome, and we were just getting to know each other. But during the conversation, we landed on the topic of our types, and he basically described someone with my body type. Okay, here we go. That's when he put his hand on my butt, and I knew that he was into me as more than just a friend. Okay. Ooh, girl. I didn't really mind it at first and was still kind of into him and was glad that he was also interested in me. We talked a little bit more when I held his hand and we kissed, but then it kind of went downhill from there. Yeah, because you was doing too much. This is your first date with him. And it wasn't a date he was trying to do a hookup. Okay, I know you don't know, and I'm trying to tell you, but he was angling for some ass. He wasn't trying to date you. There's just a lot of touching and kissing, all stuff I have never really done before. I feel like a teenager having to hide a hickey from my parents for the first time. And while I liked some of what was going on, I still thought it was all happening super fast for a first date. Plus, he described wanting to do a lot of things I wouldn't have been comfortable with, especially in a public place. Oh, God, this guy is just trash. I think that the fact that it moved so quickly in combination with the fact that I've never experienced this made it difficult for me to say no in the moment. If he put his hands somewhere I really didn't want them, I would have said no and pushed them away. But eventually he would put them back until I said no again. See, boundary violations right and left. I feel like 21 is kind of late to start dating, and for a lot of my life, I felt left out when it comes to being in relationships and going on dates. So part of me feels like I didn't want to say no as much because of the fear that this would be the only time I'll experience this, and I may not find another guy who would appreciate or like my body the way this guy did. Oh my God. What the hell is wrong with you? Thankfully, I didn't get violated or anything, but I do wish I had spoken up a bit more and made some clear boundaries. And in hindsight, I kind of regret letting him take pictures of me because who knows what he's doing with them now. To some extent, it kind of seems like he mostly wanted me for my body, which feels terrible to say, but it's true. That at least you woke up and smelled the roses. Anyway, all of this is to ask, what should I have done differently? Please tell me from start to finish so I can learn. I didn't originally know if it was a date, and if it had, maybe I would have made some clear boundaries beforehand. But because things move so quickly, I found that I didn't always know how to react. I guess I want to know how to make it clear what I do and do not want to do this. Okay, let me, your long-ass diatribe. Let me go back to page 1. Where did the mistake start? Okay, he seemed cool. He asked me to hang out. So he set a time and place. We walked around in the park. Why were you at a park on a hangout? So he didn't want to spend no money. He didn't want to take you nowhere like a serious date. He just gonna drag you around and so the mosquitoes could bite you and you could be swatting flies and sneezing from the pollen. That's what he did, okay? So you took pictures, okay, it was cute and wholesome and blah, 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 okay. But then the conversation changed to types and he described somebody with your body type. Once he did that, consider this a first date. Gentlemen don't do that. Gentlemen will talk about type like personality, interests, her smile, someone he could have mentally stimulating conversations with. That's where men who are gentlemen and who are interested in a woman would go. Okay, I'm telling you this so you understand now because you say you don't know. Once he started going and talking about bodies, you were supposed to get up and say, well, I've had a really nice time. It's time for me to go. And you walk back out the park, you get in your car and you go home and then you block his number because he's showing you right there disrespect and he's just a booty hound. Okay, now, where else did you go wrong? So you didn't know that, so you didn't shut that shit down. So then he puts his hand on your butt. You supposed to fly his hand off, slap his face, punch him in the stomach, something. Don't you put your fucking hands on me, especially on no body part like that. But no, you didn't do that. So what did it do? By not doing anything about it, you sent a signal that you okay with it, that you just there, you like him touching your ass, a complete stranger. That's the message that you sent. So now he thinks is go. It's go time. This ass is mine. That's what he's thinking because that was a test and you failed. Okay. And you were still kind of into him, I don't know how. So then you holding his hand and you letting him kiss you and all this old shit here. Some motherfucker that you've been knowing for about an hour and a half. What's wrong with you? Okay. Then you let him put a hickey on you at the park in the bushes. Where are your parents? I want to go to your house and I want to slap both of them for not teaching you shit before you turn 21 and go trying to call yourself dating. This is a hot mess. Okay, now let's go on here. So you like some of what was happening too fast and you wouldn't have been comfortable with, especially in a public place. I thank God you were in a public place, because if not, you would probably be at the police station right now filing an SA charge. That's where this was going. The speed at which he was moving and the liberties at which he was taking with your body. Just too much. All of this on the park bench. That's what I was saying, giggles. You know, it's just like a bit much. I got lipstick on my tooth. It's just a bit much for me. Okay, so then let's move on and look at some more mistakes you made. Okay, so you feel left out and you were sitting up there convincing yourself that this was the only dick in the world and that you had to get it because you might not find another guy who would appreciate or like my body the way that this guy did. Let me explain something to you. Clowns that want to get some free ass are like, I don't know, hundreds of them for a dime. Hundreds of them. There was no shortage of dog meat motherfuckers like this one on this planet. Okay? No shortage. So for you to put him in a category like he's, you know, something special and unique and you need to carve in space in your life to make room for him, you are so confused. I'm so glad you wrote those so I could get you straight. He's trash. This dude is trash. Okay, so you didn't feel violated. I don't know why, but I guess that's good. So you regret letting him take photos of you, this and that, blah, blah, blah. What should you have done there? I was like, so I hope you understand now. That's how you set clear boundaries. The main boundaries that you need to set are with yourself. So you set a code of conduct for yourself, okay? Because you didn't do very well handling yourself here. And he, of course, it was just going to take every liberty that you let him take. And the fact that, you know, if you told him, this is something I need to tell you, in the future, don't tell men that you don't have experience dating. Because then they know you brand new and they can run so much game on you. Don't ever tell them that. You go to your grave with that. Keep that a secret. But I want you to go through this channel. I want you to type boundaries in the video search bar for the channel. And every single video that comes up to show you about boundaries, I want you to put it in a playlist. And I want you to start studying them so that you can hear lots of different scenarios. Those videos are probably cover about a 10-year period. So you can hear scenarios of other mistakes that other women make. Situations. I did some interviews with some women that talked about boundaries during February. There's a lot of content on this channel about boundaries. Pay attention to them, take notes, and then I want you to put that shit in action. You should never, ever, ever put yourself in a situation like this again. And never be afraid to leave a situation. You deuce out. Get you some pepper spray or whatever they got. Where are you from again? Shit, I forgot where you said you were. Yeah, you in Montreal. Whatever they let you get in Montreal, I think bear spray. You get you some. In case you have to tap that canister into somebody's face for getting a little too jiggy. Okay? This guy this guy's garbage. Don't ever go out with him again. Don't ever be alone with him again. Don't let him come to your house. Don't you go to his. You ain't going on no dates. And you're going to end all contact with him. Okay? If he calls asking something, say no, because you really aren't a gentleman and I just didn't feel comfortable. It's like, I'm kind of angry at myself for not pushing you off of me earlier. But in retrospect, you didn't treat me well and I'm not going to be bothered with you anymore. And that's what you do. Okay? And then you block him. Question number 24. This is our next to last question of the day. Yeah, boundaries. That's like my top thing on this channel. Question number 24. She's 28 to 34 years of age from Norwich, Norfolk in the UK. Summary issue. My boyfriend blames my success for why he won't help or support me. We've known each other for a few years and dated on and off. I moved away and after doing long distance-ish for half a year, he moved to be with me. To help with the transition, I offered for him to move in with me and not pay rent for a couple of months. Oh, well, that was stupid. During this time, he paid off some debts and saved his money. He has since got his own place where I'd be moving to eventually. My lease is ending soon, so I asked him if I could get a few months rent-free as well. I tell him I have debts I love to be able to pay off and the opportunity to not have to pay anything like he did. But he refused. He says I'm not doing as bad financially as he was and is. He says that me paying half the bills at his place is less than I'm paying now, so I can just use the difference to pay off my bills. It's not the same thing, in my opinion. He then brings up the fact that he didn't charge me while I stayed with him for six weeks must be maybe at the beginning of the year. I was still paying rent at my own place though, so my apartment was just being repaired and they provided me reimbursement for housing. So what does that have to do with anything? I didn't charge him when he visited me for 4 months last year, shaking my head. I gave my boyfriend a couple of months free from the bills because moving is expensive. He paid off debt and bills and saved money. When I asked for the same trip, he refused because I'm not doing as bad as him. So what is so wrong with this picture? What's wrong with some reciprocity? I have to be dead broke for some help? No, but you don't need any help. And you also don't need this clown. I don't know what you expect me to say. If you are really, feel like you want to pay off some bills and you want to save some money, then move to a smaller place or get a 2-bedroom place and then get you a roommate. Not him, a roommate. Would I suggest moving in with this guy? Absolutely not, because he doesn't have the right attitude. And I don't know why you let him get away with that, not paying any bills. He should have been paying something. And if he wasn't paying half of all the stuff, he should at least been paying half the rent because he was living there. As an adult, you don't live anywhere for free. So I don't know. I don't understand how you operate, and now you mad because you wrote a check and now your ass got to cash it with that loser bum you got. Question number 25. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Coventry in the UK. Summary issue. My boyfriend is being disrespectful and manipulative. My boyfriend and I had a fight 2 days ago because I felt that he wasn't giving me enough time and chose to watch football over spending time the night with me. After all that, I felt bad and realized that everyone deserves their me time and apologized to him for my behavior. He went off on me saying that I'm selfish and I do not recognize the little things that he does for me. So after feeling horrible all day yesterday, I decided to get food from his favorite spot and drop it off at his apartment. But when I arrived, I gave him a quick text asking him to come down and pick up the food. He proceeds to say, "No, I'm not coming. Take the food back and give it to someone else." Wow. Also, he got mad because I did not tell him that I was coming, and I left the food on the counter near the concierge. After heavy back and forth with him on text, I left the apartment and food there. But 30 minutes later, I got a text saying, "Thank you for the food, and are you going to bloody respond?" To which I decided not to respond. You two are just too much drama. The entire night. Now he's sending me manipulative text saying, "If you don't text me back, I'm going to assume we will never talk again." I decided to reply saying, "I'm sleeping. Let's talk tomorrow." And he said, "No. Why did you not tell me that you are bringing food?" Yesterday morning, he was pressuring me to talk to him once I sent him a text saying that I need my space and I'll talk to you tomorrow. He spammed me over 10 times saying we should communicate. Lingering the issue won't solve anything and you are ruining my day. I don't know what to do. I don't want to drag this out, but I'm super hurt by his behavior. Can you help me, please? No, I cannot. You know why? Because I have to go back to the beginning where you felt like he wasn't giving you enough time because he was watching football and he wasn't spending time with you. Now, my thing is this, he didn't want you to come to his apartment. Why not? Every man I know can sit there, even if the wife's not into sports, he likes to look at her reading her book or whatever she's doing over there in a chair next to him. She might be on her phone watching a movie, but they're sitting there together. They like that shit. They like to be out to lay their head on her lap while they watch football. They like to be in the same space with the woman that they love. Now, if he didn't want you in the same space because he's got, well, who was at his house that he didn't want you to come upstairs? You see, that's where my mind is going. That's where my mind, because he just acted he just put on like too much of a performance to make you leave, to hurt you, to make you leave, instead of coming up to knocking on the door. That's what he did. So I'm gonna say this. You have something to do about this quote relationship and this alleged boyfriend that you got. The way his behavior is sus as hell. And yeah, I don't see why anyone would put up with this. First he tells you to take it back to the store and all this, and then later he tells you thank you for the food. And then why did you tell me you were bringing food? I mean, he's all over the place. So I'm not really understanding what it is that you're getting out of this sorry situation with this clown. But you need to rethink this. Listen to this video because I'm reading your letter, reading exactly what you wrote. And you think about it and tell me if it makes any sense to you. Because from where I'm sitting, it's like he's hiding something that was in his apartment while he claimed he was watching football. That motherfucker wasn't watching no damn football. Somebody was in his place, and that's why he didn't want her there. So he was sending her away. And so, because now she's bringing him food. Most dudes been like, oh, my baby, she bring me some grub. Oh, come on up. You know what I mean? He want to have a snack while he's watching the game. And it's from his favorite place, too. There'd be no reason to send her away unless he had somebody there that he didn't want her to see. So that's the tea there. So that's what our advice live stream for tonight. We will be back on Friday with the Dusty News Network Laugh-a-thon. If you guys have something that you want to send in to the Dusty News Network, you can do that. Email survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line DNN. DNN. And what you're going to have are things like memes and screenshots of crazy comments that Dusty's have made, crazy posts that Dusty's have made, that kind of thing. That's what we put on the Dusty News Network. You can look at last week's show and see it's a hoot. There's nothing about it that makes sense. It's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not an intelligent show. It's us clowning. That's what we do. This is our summer programming. We got a couple more weeks. We go until mid-October, and then that'll be it until 2024. So please join us if you're not already a subscriber to this channel. Hit that subscription button and come on through. Join us on Friday night. Bring your favorite drinky drink, and just sit back and kick your legs up and just have some fun laughing, because that's what we do. All right? So you guys, I appreciate you sitting in with me and listening to these people and their crazy mistakes in relationships. Please don't be like them. Okay? If you have any doubts about how to proceed in your dating or relationship, just search this channel. Put in a couple of keywords, just like you would Google, and search the channel for videos that will provide you with realistic instructions, like step-by-step guidance on how to assess a situation, vet a man, vet a woman, and decide if a situation is for you. If it's something that's unhealthy and toxic, that should be left behind. Make smarter choices in love, and then you won't be like the people that wrote this advice column tonight. All right? I will see you guys on Friday.